Okay, here we go. Call, take one.
The new feature film had its world premiere in South Wales this afternoon. A new action-packed blockbuster telling the tale of a tough cup on the streets of LA gets its premiere this afternoon.
I think it's amazing what they've achieved in such a short space of time.
It's really good. That's really good. It's an opportunity.
But it got to the point where the cop film was more important than my student work.
Never ask permission for anything. If you go in somewhere and you ask somebody for permission, that gives them the opportunity to say no.
We never really intended to shoot a big feature, just kind of got bigger and bigger as we were going along.
In December 1996, 3 film students decided to make a short action comedy entitled Cop on the Edge 9, Prelude to Justice. This film, intended to be less than 10 minutes in length, taking just 1 week to complete, and after a whole day's script writing, began principal photography on January 4th, 1997. Little did they know they wouldn't be finished for another 18 months, and their 10-minute film would come in at just under 75 minutes, costing them nearly £1,000. The film opened November 29th, 1998 to a packed cinema in Newport's ABC. The reviews were positive to say the least. Let us take you now on a journey into the world of Cop on the Edge 9, Prelude to Justice, as we go behind the scenes and get some valuable insights from the cast and crew into the making of an ultra-low-budget cult classic.
I got a couple of favourite moments from the film, actually. The ones that I was filming, any moment when I was fighting and kicking around Darren. Those are very satisfying. But my favourite moment from the film, as in watching it, I think was when Jimmy is hanging off the edge of, or the dummy that was Jimmy, was hanging off the edge of the car park, and he falls, and I think that's just a classic bit of cinema.
Yep, you guessed it. Back on the top of the rooftop shootout black and white flashback scene. Every great action movie should have one. Black and white, flashback start, partner dies. Does he look like LA? He's got his own transporter bridge. Would you care to look around? You see it? LA, Newport, LA. What difference does it make? And actually, since doing this film, we've actually found another, what should I say, dodgy action spoof, I guess so, by a bunch of Cardiff film students who shot on this very tarmac. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many action crap spoof movies have been shot on this very location? Because we're coming back next time.
But you need your strength now. You're her rock. You're gonna have to give her time if she's gonna get through.
Christ, my throat hurts. Rock. Shut up. How gone is that?
The overriding favourite moment of all time has to be when Eddie Keaton, co-producer, went into the river. He said it was freezing, but I can't possibly see how it could have been that cold. I mean, it was a beautifully warm January morning, and you could just see the icicles floating down the water. He came out clutching his chest as if he was about to have a heart attack, but I think he was exaggerating slightly.
That's all you're fucking getting. No, please, no, I can't.
Even better than that was the next day when we couldn't get the shots we wanted the day before, and he had to do it again, which is great.
Boy, that was cold. Does this look like a location, a follow-on from the one from the car chase? With the world's biggest car park, followed by a 9-inch tanker explosion? No, I don't think it does. But we couldn't find anything, so Tredegar Park it had to be. Interrupted, of course, by the frequent trips on the swings, and interrupted by numerous pointless lectures, so we had to go back and forth and back and forth. And this scene took, 2-3 weeks to film, 6 different occasions. It still turned out pretty poor. But then again, it's Cop on the Edge.
This ain't a movie.
But it got to the point where the cop film was more important than my student work, which is probably something I shouldn't admit to. But it's true, because the cop film I felt was giving me more by way of a true education of the making of film than the college was, which was trying to encourage the artistry of film, which is only goes so far. It gets a bit tiresome at the end of the day.
Shoot on location, because location is free. Never try and book a studio. Don't try and get professional actors, unless you happen to be best friends with Robert De Niro.
Wasn't that Jake Cobb?
Everything is free. Aim to get the highest possible thing you can, then try and get as close to it. Originally we wanted a massive car chase with a 6-man fight, breaking out through a window, leaping on top of a van, speeding off in the distance with a helicopter in there as well. We pretty much got all that with the exception of the window breaking. That's only because Graham Cox at the college wouldn't let us smash any windows and then come back.
How close was that?
Aim as high as you can, then try and get as close to it. Don't aim to make something cheap, make something low budget.
Every time I say it, it hurts. Don't say it then! Okay. Cut, next scene.
The only advice I could give to somebody else who's trying to start up a low budget or no budget film would be to plan everything and stick at it, because because you're not paying anybody. Nobody's going to have the professional edge. Nobody's going to want to turn up because they're going to get a nice paycheck at the end of it. So you can't let yourself be too badly affected when people don't turn up or they can't turn up or something else has happened. Yeah. So you're going to have to put up with a lot of blows. And hey, like I did. Damn, it was great.
I'm listening. I just don't give a shit.
I think one of the best things we've learned from this production is never try and do anything officially. Never ask permission for anything. If you go in somewhere and you ask somebody for permission, that gives them the opportunity to say no. You don't do that. You just go in, you do it anyway, and when they come to you and say, what exactly are you doing there? You give them some flannel about how important they are, and how you can't possibly carry on without them. You didn't realise you needed permission. And then pretty much they feel obliged to help you out.
I swore an oath to my badge, an oath I believe in.
So always go in and do it, shoot first, ask questions later.
In love as well as in Sorry.
You always shoot first in love, yeah?
As you can see, the Buggy Mail location has changed quite a bit. Yeah, come on, there's some cops over there, so I'll show you where. Let's walk. The new post office redevelopment since. This is with filmed Huggy Bear on a very wet and windy Sunday morning.
Fucking hell, man, that's LA.
With Sam Evans complaining that I had to get out of bed at 8 on a Sunday morning, which was no mean feat, let me tell you that. And there was a real car crash. We of course filmed an intercut with the footage, which makes some startling degrees of realism, I'd say.
I think there's always something out there you can find by way of funding. There's always some kind of grant or an arts council thing you can apply for, even if it's just a few hundred or less than a few hundred. There's always going to be something to start it off. I think the best thing to do would be to try and find a group of like-minded have because if you all have the same enthusiasm, if you try and coerce friends into it, then it's not going to work at all, because they're going to lose enthusiasm after the first couple of days, because there's lots of standing around on the set and that isn't fun. If you get a group of friends together who want to do it, then you've saved lots of money. I mean, on this production we were doubling up as sound and lighting and camera work and acting. I mean, of course, that wouldn't hold water for a cinematic film, for a major production. Of course it wouldn't. But for low budget, that's perfectly acceptable. And I don't really know what the end cost of Cop on the Edge was. I have really no idea.
Eddie Keaton is very sexist bastard. He blows goats out of fruit.
Come on. He executed his line to perfection. Brilliant.
We didn't have professional actors, so of course the acting isn't that good.
Oh shit, Jake.
Things were achieved during the making of that, which I haven't seen other student films wanting to achieve, or even coming even close to doing the same thing. Edward Keaton, one of the producers and one of the directors of this film, he organised police helicopters. He organised crew and cast.
No one could stand in their way.
And cars. all on a shoestring budget, all without any money. And despite the poor acting,
That's what I'm afraid of.
despite the fact we didn't have film cameras, we couldn't afford them, the film is still a feature, and the film was still well put together.
Filming one of the most challenging scenes in the movie, the epic warehouse shootout between two rival gangs and Jake Cobb, we see that are problems akin to any major Hollywood production, and some that are not. Serious student filmmaker Dan Hopkins, more into his Russ Meyer than his Tony Scott, and having been drafted into this much against his will, is having trouble dying.
Bang! Bang! And
You're on.
bang!
Oh, that was one of the better ones.
Bang.
Hang on, I don't think Dan. Bang!
Yes, you're not supposed to say bang yourself, Dan.
Nice death scene, Dan. Bang!
Dan Hopkins may be more into his Jean-Luc than his Jean-Claude. We do have our own Godard on set.
And cut. This
Mike
time,
Godard.
We don't want any of that
But perhaps
funny
the less
business
said
like
about him, the
Carol,
better.
you know,
Mike replaced the lamentable Graham Cox as the police captain, of whom only this sample footage remains.
I've tracked you down. I've got some bad news, Jake. This time you play it by the book.
Little to choose, really. Back to the shootout, and a television stand makes an excellent dolly for those sweeping tracking shots. Even if Jonathan Brett doesn't make an excellent gang member.
Let's go.
We provided a nice open bag of asbestos for him to dive into, something not recommended by many stunt performers, yet strangely Brett seemed to like it.
Yeah, he looks as though he's died.
Paulie Burgess and Nick Murray show genuine fear that Jake Cobb has entered the fray.
Be serious.
Steady on, guys. There's only one of him. The bullet cam, again using the TV stand, requires great bravery from the actor involved.
Oh, no, right.
It's not your fault, Jimmy. She's still cut up off the loss of her mother. You laughed then?
I didn't. I'm acting.
You went,
No, I'm acting.
I was acting, was it?
Yes.
Alright.
I was acting laughing.
Are you ready? I mentioned your wife's died, you're acting laughing.
I'm not acting laughing. I'm acting sad.
Alright, let's go!
If I had the chance to do something differently on this production, it wouldn't be anything big. Actually, it would be my entire performance, I think, and my hairstyle, and the horrible yellow shirt I kept wearing, and the funny face tie thing. I didn't really like that much, and I'd probably hit Darren harder a few times, and in the one scene, my interrogation scene, when I get slapped around the face, I let that ride, and he really slapped me, and it really hurt, and I was ill, and I had a migraine, so that was really too much for me, and I'd probably hit him back if it happened again, or out of preference I'd do that. And I'd insist that I had a longer role. I wouldn't want to die at the end of it. That's an important point for me. And I'd make sure there's a contract, which means I can come back in a sequel. Other than that, I wouldn't change a thing.
Call me cop.
The main thing we did differently is spend more than half an hour writing a script, because that is probably its greatest weakness. What it lacks in script, it more than makes up for enthusiasm. But when you see Mike Godard saying it's my way or the highway, that's pretty much the end of any script writing process has gone in there.
This time, it's my way or the highway!
There's enough flexibility on set to allow for any mishaps, so if somebody couldn't turn up, it wasn't such a big deal. The script was malleable, and we could get around it, and we did often, and it was fine. So what would I change? I mean, in an ideal world, obviously I'd say more financing, more time, wouldn't have to do college work alongside it, and more time to learn the lines, all things like that. But as it was, I think generally it was as good as it could have been. an organisational point of view.
Another big thing I think we'd do again is the guns. We had plastic guns from Poundland because we only envisaged it being a 9-minute spoof. If we do it again, I think we get some blank firing weapons, do that properly, have proper explosions, no little tanker plastic firework things, and probably squibs as well. Because I mean they're easy to do and they're cheap, so it would have really affected the overall look of the film.
Whatever the flaws, you can be sure that Cop on the Edge 9, Prelude to Justice will be entertaining audiences for many years to come, and it seems almost inevitable that one day Jake Cop will return.
I'm Jake Cop.
No, I'm Darren Jamieson. Together we've been oiling Jake's peace. Thank you for watching.
I don't think there's a little girl anywhere in the world who loves her mom as much as Kenny.
It's such a funny line.
Shut up. You ready?
Give me the script.
No.
I can read the script.
No.
It will help me.
No, it won't. Shut up.
It will.
You never got any lines.
Okay.
Just shut up.
Okay, go.
It's not your fault, Jimmy. She's still cut up over the loss of her mother.
He's going backwards.
Doesn't seem to be able to get through.
It's not your fault, Jimmy. Okay, that's what we cut.
Didn't expect to get that far again. Have we got one there?
Yeah, those definitely good.
Okay, cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras.
That was testimony that scum-sucker moped won't work!
I know,
But nothing! Maureen's death was not your fault! You have to accept that!
Stay on! Driving through this here! Driving through here! Don't come out of your head!
James! Go on, Oscar. Okay, one more. Okay.